Wagwan, wagwan. Welcome to my channel, the DIY Yardie. Welcome back if you've been here before. In this video, I'm working on a 2012 Cadillac DeVille, and the issue with this car is it's blowing hot on one side, cold on another, or it could be cold on one side, hot on another, which there are usually two things that can cause this issue, which is a broken blend door, or it could be the blend door actuator, which is a little motor that moves the door between cold and warm or cold and hot. And it also works for the heat as well as the air conditioning. Okay, so whenever you have a car with climate control and it's getting either sticking hot only on one side and the other side works hot and cold fine, and one side is stuck, this little motor here is usually the cause of the problem. Okay, not always this, but there's also another part that can cause a problem. This little part here usually strips out, and that is the problem right there. Okay, so if it's not that little motor, then it's the door that this motor moves. Okay, so it has to move between hot and cold. So tools we'll need is a flat screwdriver, a T15 Torx bit driver, a 1/4" ratchet, 1/4" extension, 1/4" 7mm, and a 1/4" 5.5mm. Alright, but what I'm going to do first is show you the actual these motors that move the doors between hot and cold. Alright, they're actually called actuators. Okay, so on the driver's side there's a cover on here right above the pedals, so you're going to have to remove that cover. Okay, so this is not the actual side that the bad motor is on. This is the driver's side. So I'm just giving you an idea where some of these actuators are located. The ones on this side, actually the main one which controls between hot and cold is on this side, as well as the one and the second one for mode, which is controlling, whether you want the fan blowing on the floor, the windshield, the vent control basically. Okay, so one is for temperature and the other is for wherever you want the direction of the air to blow. Alright, so get this cover out of the way and I'll show you where they're mounted up on here. So if you look up, you're gonna see like barcodes. Okay, like the black boxes with the barcodes. Okay, in the center of the screen. Alright, just above. Okay, there's one. That's one there, and there's another one above this one. Alright, which they control the, like I said, the temperature on the driver's side and mode where you want the fan blowing. Alright, so anyway, now this is the actual side that we need to replace. So this is the driver's side, and also there's a cover, access cover, that you have to be removed. And this is a 7mm bolt. We got two 7mm bolts. All right, and I'm using a 1/2" drive. All right, to get those out of there. All right. So I've already ran some checks to figure out that the problem is the actual actuator and not the blend door. Okay, because like I said, it can be a broken blend door, or it can be the actuator that controls the blend door. Alright, so this is the part here. It's up in this corner right here, but to access it I'll have to remove the glove box. Okay, so the glove box has to come out of there. Alright, so to remove the glove box, I'm going to have to remove these. First of all, use 4 screws. Well, there are 8 screws in all, but we have to remove these four first, and you need a tool with a Torx or a T15 Torx. Can be a screwdriver or socket, or as long as it's a T15. Alright, so we get these four in front out, and once we get these four, there's two more up top right in front. Get those out. Remove that shelf, and then there's two more to the back, one on the right and one on the left. And also to the back of the glove box, there's a plug. Okay, so this is where you use your flat screwdriver and you pop those moldings out, and you pull the glove box. Pull on it a couple of inches, because like I said, there's a plug on the back of the glove box that has to be unplugged also, as well as there are three to the left side of the glove box that has to be pulled. There's one for the trunk switch, for the light, and for the light switch, and then the light itself. Okay, so I gotta get these unplugged. This one here, you have to use a screwdriver or something like that to push down on it to unhook it. Okay, I was trying to do it with my fingers, but couldn't get down there far enough. So use a screwdriver to depress that little tab and just slide it apart. Trying to work here with one hand as usual. Film and work with one hand. Trying to be skillful. Okay, so you want to push down on this little tab and then pull back. There we go. Alright, so the next thing is to pop the light out. So you want to, the light has two little tabs that holds it in place. So you push down on the top, or well, preferably the top, that's the easiest one to get to. Push down there and push in while you're pushing down. Okay, you just twist that, push it out there. Alright, and like I said, remember to unplug the plug in the back. You have to push your hand under and unplug, and this is what it connects to, that there. I'm not sure what that is for. Maybe back in the day they had telephones, like car phones. It's a possibility that's what that is for. Not certain. Okay, so this is the part that's actually bad. That's the bad actuator. Alright, so to get that out of there, it actually has two screws. Let me show you a picture of it close up. This is the back. So you screw in the middle and one down at the bottom, and those are the 5.5 millimeters. Okay, so this plug goes in here. That's the plug that actually carries the power to it and the controller. Okay, so I had unplugged it. I'm just showing you, where it attaches. All right, so you got this lower screw out first, and then the one in the middle. And like I said, that's a 5.5 millimeter. All right, and they're not very tight. They're just snug. Okay, but these things are plastic, so you don't want to tighten down on them and strip them out or crack them, break them. All right, so then the one in the middle, that's also 5.5 millimeter. All right, and this is, once you remove the glove box, this is inside to the left of the glove box, or what we call the center console of the car. Alright, so that's the bad one out, and that white thing you're looking at there is the blend door knob, I guess you could call it. Okay, controlling knob. So let me show you what's going on. Okay, so this is the bad one, and if you look, that's the motor that connects to the blend door. You're not supposed to be able to turn that. Okay, that's actually stripped out. The gear inside is stripped out. It's supposed to be tight like this one. Okay, so I'm not able to turn. All right, so that's the good one, and that's the one that's going back in the car. All right, so it's a little bit of work to get it back in there. Okay, because you know the blend door, you can't really tell where it's situated at once the other one stopped working, so you have to kind of play around with it until you get it, you know, exactly lined up and sitting in the right position. All right, so you don't push on it too hard, you just wiggle it and twist and turn until you get it, you hear it, you know, bottom out, then you know it's in. All right, here we go. So next thing is to put our screws in, and remember, one in the center and one at the lower right, I guess you would say. So it's a pretty easy job, you know. Like I said, anything you're working on, you try to, you know, take a little bit of patience, take your time, pay attention to what you're doing. Anything you unhook to get to what you're working on, remember to reconnect when you're putting it back together. You know? So I'm gonna tighten down on this just a little bit, snug. Like I said, it's plastic, so you don't want to torque like you're you're tightening down on metal. All right, then I reconnect my power and my control wire. All right, this I'm gonna put my key in the ignition, crank him, and give him a test. So I'm actually checking out the heat, because that's the issue that this car was having. It was only blowing heat on one side, because where I am right now, it's actually the temperature's in the 40s. So I'm trying to get the heat to work on both sides of the car. Okay, so I just don't only want the heat to work, I want to make sure that it works between hot and cold. You know, like it's when I use the controller to change it, it actually changed from hot to cold. So once I'm good, you know, I'm comfortable that it's doing what it's supposed to do, then I can go ahead and put it back together. Okay, so it looks good right now. It looks like it's doing what it's supposed to do. It is actually going between hot and cold. Right, before it was just stuck on hot, so that did the trick. Okay, so got the glove box back in place, everything hooked up, all the wires reconnected. So now it's just to put my molding back on here, molding around the glove box, and that will be it. You know, like I said, it's not a hard job. A lot of doing these jobs is just paying attention and taking your time. It's a step-by-step process. All right, pay attention to, you know, whatever you pull, and always try to remember to reconnect when you're putting it back together. All right, you don't want to do a job and put everything back together only to find out you got to tear it down to go back and reconnect one simple wire. You know. All right, looks like we're good to go here. All right, this is the DIY Yardie, and if you found this video helpful, please, like, share, comment. I'm actually trying to build this channel, so I'd like people to subscribe and help me build a channel. If you find my videos or this video helpful, please subscribe, and please, most of all, subscribe and like. Okay, I would really appreciate it, and hopefully, like I said, I hope this video helped you. And I'm the DIY Yardie. Enough blessings, respect.